use cases of IaC. So, what are the scenarios or the situations where we can use the concept of IaC, right. So, the first one, right, automated web application deployment. You have a web application ready with you, code is there, HTML, CSS or any technology you might have used, deployment of that application can be automated, right. So, if you are using some cloud, let us say you are using AWS for deploying web application, you have to load into S3 bucket and then you have to enable the static web hosting. Okay. This we have seen, right, we have already worked on deploying, then I have to create a URL and paste it in the browser, or if I just enable this, it is automatically done deployment. This step of loading the code into S3, enabling web hosting can be automated, right. So, one of the most common and impactful uses of IaC is to define and provision all the necessary components for a web application, okay, including virtual machines, database, local load balancers, firewalls and networking configurations. If you want to deploy a web application in a server, we have to do lot of steps: creating a virtual machine, then installing database in that, having load balancers for taking care of the load, and having firewalls, setting up the firewalls for allowing the traffic to outside people to access the website, and some network configurations. All these things can be written as a script, right. So, one important use case or very popularly used use case is deploying a web application automatically. You wrote the code, that is it. After that, you give that code in one folder and place that script in that folder, execute that script, it will automatically do everything and the application will be up and ready, right. So, that is one important use case of IaC. The second use case is cloud deployment. Obviously, when we go for cloud platforms like AWS or Azure, we need to do lot of steps in that. We already have experienced how challenging it is to deploy applications in cloud platforms. It is easy, but it has lot of configurations, it has lot of settings to be done, which can be automated, right. So, cloud deployment, you can use IaC to set up and manage their entire cloud environment across single or multiple clouds, right. So, if you remember, we do lot of security permissions, we do lot of security settings in the cloud, right. With IaC, you codify cloud infrastructure to ensure precise resource allocation, security settings and compliance, right. Even in cloud, the steps what has to be done can be automated. If you are deploying any application either through container or without using container, manually deploying it, all that can be automated. So, the first case is deploying any web application. If you want to deploy, you can use IaC. If you want to deploy it using cloud, you can use IaC. Okay. Then third one, continuous again CI/CD pipeline. Obviously, CI/CD is all about automating the process. CI/CD is all about automating the process, right. So, even there IaC can help me. Let us see where it helps us. IaC is integral to automating the software development life cycle, because CI/CD is about automating the software development life cycle, right. So, in an IaC approach, you treat infrastructure changes like application code, version control, test, automatically deploy as part of CI/CD pipelines. Okay. So, developers can test the code in environments identical to production, leading to quicker and more reliable deployments. So, this IaC can help me create a dummy server which looks same like the production. How did I create this server? Using IaC code, IaC script. That is one advantage using IaC. See, developers can test code in environments identical to production, leading to quicker and more reliable, because why I am doing this? I am testing it. After going to production, how will it look that? How will it look like? That can be tested here, right. So, and the next one is disaster recovery and high availability, right. How does this IaC helps us? IaC enhances disaster recovery, right. See, when we define infrastructure as code stored in version control, we can quickly and consistently recreate entire environment in a different region or the cloud, because I already have the instructions written as a script which I use to set up an environment. If something problem comes in that, within very quickly, within no time, I can go and create a same environment with the same script. So this reduces recovery time, okay, recovery time objectives, and downtime, ensuring business continuity. So this way also IaC helps us. Then working with hybrid and multi-cloud environments, there also it helps us, because different cloud environment may have different infrastructure. So IaC tools let you define and manage those resources consistently across different environments, because one environment may have one kind of a server, other one might have other infrastructure. So in everywhere, whatever is the background, I have to do that in proper manner. For that IaC will help us. And final one is the security and compliance automation, right? We write lot of rules. When coming to security aspect, we actually write lot of rules, right? We write firewall rules, identity IAM rules. In AWS we write lot of rules, and we do lot of encryption settings. So in every cloud platform, in every environment, whatever I set these rules, they can be easily copied and they can be easily executed. So there is no problem in that, because in one machine I may miss firewall, in another machine I may miss encryption. That problem will not be there. So security issue also will not come, because if I properly sit and make one perfect IaC code which is taking care of the security aspect, then that is final. I can blindly follow that and install in all the machines, right? So these are few important use cases where I can use IaC: automated web application deployment, cloud deployment, CI/CD pipeline, disaster recovery, hybrid and multi-cloud environment if you are working with that, and finally the security and compliance automation. So in all these cases we can use IaC, which can make the job of the developers easy.